Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Whoa, the champs are here. The champs are here. The NBA Cup champs are here. Oh, my goodness. Bucks winning tonight out of Vegas, 97-81 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes out all our scripts. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. It's the Cream City Crossover Guru. Check out the third.
Justin.
Chris King.
Yeah. We in the room tonight, baby. No John Tyus tonight, no JT. But the Bucks do what they needed to do tonight. No Khris Middleton for the Bucks. No problem. Bucks win at 97-81. Giannis, I see him dancing on my screen as he wins the Emirates Cup NBA MVP award. The Bucks win the NBA Cup over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen, Giannis said it in the post-game in the presser, how proud he was of his basketball team. I'm proud of him, too. I'm damn proud of this basketball team going out and doing exactly what they needed to do. 97-81 is the final. Get at us what you think about this. A lot of questions you can go with how this post-game go a lot of different directions. What did this game mean? What does the cup mean? What does that didn't mean much for the Lakers last year, but what does that mean? The Milwaukee Bucks went out to Vegas. They did what they needed to do. They got to semis last year. Remember the Indiana Pacers thought that, I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to it. Like, there's a lot of things I got to get to, including some Boston fans who have some things to say as well. And we're out there. So I don't know. I'm feeling good. Chris King got on start this thing, and Chris King said, "Well, I'm not popping champagne." I don't know. I'm about ready to pop that champagne. But I do want to know from the chat, does this mean anything to you? We can start with, does it mean anything to you? What does the cup mean? Do you see this team getting better? What do you think about this basketball team now? A lot of thoughts early in the season, and the Bucks have obviously turned this thing all around. I know this one didn't count in the standings, but the Bucks win it. They get $514,000 each player, so I'm sure that is motivation for them. But 97-81, they dominate the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Not only did they dominate, but they dominated a game in which the pundits thought they would lose. I'm watching at halftime. I'm watching the ESPN halftime show. First off, they start the game talking about Giannis trade rumors, which is crazy. When you talk about ratings being down, you start off a game, the NBA Cup, this is supposed to be this new thing, this pinnacle, and you start off, you talking about Giannis trade rumors, not the game. Then at halftime, all I heard Bob Myers and Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, well, OKC, look at, they only hit 1 3 and they're only down one. They only hit 1 3. I'll go, shut up. How about the Bucks defense holding Oklahoma City to 81 points tonight? How about that? How about the Bucks defense doing what they need to do and forcing tough baskets? How about Andre Jackson Jr. defense on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight? Somebody who they try to throw. It's another MVP can. The difference between Giannis and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't know what y'all do with these rankings and who's where and this MVP ladder. He's at the bottom rung. You saw those two guys on the floor tonight. Giannis is on a different level. Stop putting him down there. With Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He ain't ready. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I love his game. Great kid, great attitude, all that. He's going to be real good. It's levels. It's levels, man. Y'all got to stop disrespecting 34. Y'all got to stop disrespecting. Let's do a game recap. 97-81. Bucks beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Giannis, 26, 19, and 10. Oh, my God. 2 steals, 3 blocks. He had 5 of them things. What we call him, Chris King?
Stocks.
5 stocks for Giannis, 10 and 19 from the field tonight. Didn't shoot a 3, 6 of 11 from the free throw line, 4 turnovers. Taurean Prince with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists tonight. Brook Lopez, 13 and 9, 5 of 12 from the field, hit some big threes. Andre Jackson Jr. talked about it, only 2 points, 3 rebounds, but great defense on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Damian Lillard with 23, 4 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. He was 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. So good night from Damian Lillard. Bobby Portis, 5 points, 9 rebounds. Talked about this before we got onto the on the air. The difference with Bobby tonight, again, he shot poorly, 2 of 9 from the field. But Bobby Portis tonight was not a net negative on defense. Like, that's the difference between can you impact the game in other ways? Can you play? And there was a possession where he got 2 offensive rebounds in a row, went back up later. Those are the plays that I'm talking about. And again, tonight I didn't see Bobby. He had a couple of bad ill-advised shots. The other shots were good shots. Some nights you're going to miss, and that's okay. But when we get on Bobby, it's because you're missing. You're not playing defense. You're out of position. And all the things are going wrong. Tonight, Bobby Portis played much better. AJ Green, 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. I thought he played defense very well. I don't know how to help Pat Connaughton weasel his way back into the lineup. Maybe he was out with Doc Rivers gambling and covered some bets. I don't know what happened. Pat Connaughton got 12 minutes of running around and he didn't score at all. Gary Trent Jr., beautiful job tonight, 13 points, 3 rebounds. And what I saw from Gary Trent Jr. that was different, he was 5 and 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. What I saw was different a little bit from Gary Trent Jr. was some of those shots he created on his own. Like, it wasn't catch and shoot threes. He was creating, getting to the mid-range, getting to his spots. I liked it a lot. On the Oklahoma City side of things, Lou Dort, 4 points, 8 rebounds. Jalen Williams, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He has a real nice pull-up game, pull-up jumper that he didn't have as soon as he got into the league. He's really worked on that. Isaiah Hartenstein, 16 and 12. And people talked about the 3-pointers that Oklahoma City missed. And I get that because people that's what they're gonna go to as to why they lost this game. But hell, again, maybe I don't watch enough OKC. And I know Isaiah Hartenstein, he's a good player. He's a good player. He ain't hitting that damn floater like that, is he? He ain't throwing that junk up and hitting that. He hitting it like that. I mean, my God, he'll start the game 5-5 or whatever he was. He finished 6 for 11. So what I saw in the second half of Isaiah Hartenstein is probably a little more of what I think he is versus you throw up every floater that looks like a bunch of junk and go in the basket. Isaiah Joe, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talked about 21 points, but he took 24 shots. That's where the great defense was. On the Alex Caruso, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Talk about Caruso. He's a good player, but listen, you try to stick him on Giannis, and it's a lot of too small. That's what it is for Mr. Caillou. 97-81 is the final out of Las Vegas. Bucks win the NBA Cup, and let's just be honest about it. The first half was good. I think Oklahoma City missed some shots, and defensively, the Bucks played really well. But that third quarter, the Bucks came out on a mission to win the basketball game, and they absolutely dominated. Let me see. This was in the third quarter. Bucks went 26-14 in the third quarter. That was the game right there when the Bucks absolutely took over in that third quarter. And from an effort, defense, offense. They scored the ball well when they needed to, went through a couple of lulls, but outside that, I thought the effort was high. That was, I haven't, and again, I don't know, maybe $500,000 meant that much to the guys. I don't know what it was, but I'm just being honest. That was championship level effort from the Milwaukee Bucks against, again, a team that a lot of people thought the Bucks would struggle with and say, oh, okay, see, Andre Jackson Jr. is a problem, folks. Defensively, he is a problem. That was a really good night for the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, we'll ask. There are a lot of questions that we can ask and figure out. What are you taking from this? Was this just a blip for OKC? But in a matchup which was high pressure, an environment where you obviously can feel the juice. I know it didn't count for anything statistically, but you could feel the juice. Guys wanted to win that basketball game. The Bucks went out there and absolutely dominated and looked like, I know we talk about being an older team versus a younger team, but they look like the more mature basketball team. They look like the team that just based on this alone, not even the result, but the way they played. I look at the Milwaukee Bucks and I go, I trust them in a series. Versus, I don't know what these young boys might not be ready. I know Giannis will come out and give me and go to work. I know Dame gonna come out and go to work in the playoffs because we saw it. So, and that's the thing. I'm getting to this level where I trust this team. Bucks went 97-81. That's what I saw tonight. What did you see?
Man, I just thought that Gary Trent Jr. had probably one of the best second halves and halves of basketball that we've seen from someone not named Giannis or Dame this year. He completely took over, not just with his offense, but with his defense. I mean, with Giannis and Dame, I don't know how much more we can say about these two. Like, they did everything tonight. Anything that needed to happen, they did. Brook, I thought that in the beginning of the game, they tried to exploit Brook, and Brook came out there and showed that he has something to prove, and you're not going to exploit him. He moved his feet well. Some of the guys were getting around him, but he kind of funneled them into Giannis or to another defender, which I thought was really good. I feel like this Oklahoma City team, they're a very good team, and we only scored 97 points. They played great defense, but our defense was just by leaps and bounds better. I don't like the egghead boy Caruso, all this flopping, dirty, picking, pulling. And then, this is what happens when you get a game that is this poorly officiated. You get a guy like Bobby Portis who's going to fling his elbow out there and hit you in the head. That's because you grabbing and pulling at the dude the whole day. So you got to call it the same way. You letting the SGA go down to the bucket. He pushing off and he getting and ones, and Giannis getting down. The boy jumped on his shoulder. In college basketball, correct me if I'm wrong, my college basketball guru, that's a flagrant 2. You can't pull the guy's elbow like that anymore. Hey, it's good for the young kids to go and get that check, though. Like, we needed that money. I think that's why you saw Marjan happy. And the last thing I'm going to say, man, this is the first trophy of the year. Let's go ahead and get that other one, though. That big one.
This is a game. See, now there is a phrase that kind of started in Milwaukee last year that, has kind of been overused, right? In the sense of, anytime a team wins a game, they're using this phrase. But tonight, what I saw in a 97-81 victory, what was it, guys?
Belt to ass.
It was belt to ass. It was belt to ass tonight. Look, it was tight for one half, and then all of a sudden you see Dame come out and knock down 3 straight threes. I love to see that coming out of halftime. We've struggled coming out of halftime, but to really throw that punch and really never look back was belt to ass to me. Dame did it all, so I like seeing that from him. But the most important thing for me, like watching this game, it was eye-popping. Giannis's dominance on both sides of the floor, but not only just both sides of the floor, on defense, he was a presence down low. Like, yes, he only had, 3 blocks? It might have been more. They might, get a stat correction or whatever. But they could not get anything going on Giannis at the rim. And it didn't even have to be a block. He was altering shots, and that's the most important thing. It allowed us to get out in transition. And another thing that was eye-popping for me was just the sharing of the basketball, right? Like, I looked at this game, watching it, I'm like, man, we're really moving the ball. We're really finding open shooters. Then I look down at the box score, and it's 25 assists on 34 made baskets. Like, that is great sharing of the ball. OKC only had 13. So you damn near doubled him up passing the ball wise. And I think that's why this game looked so great from Milwaukee is like we are sharing the ball, unselfish stuff, getting good looks. And I think some guys reaped the benefits of it. Brook Lopez down the stretch hit massive threes. They found him when he was open. And obviously Dame goes 5 of 10 from 3. So, you got great looks, and I think that was just because of the flow of the offense, and it certainly started on the defensive end by only giving up 81 and getting a ton of stops and getting out and before OKC is able to set the defense. So great win, definitely belt to ass. And, I will have to eat some of my words about, some of these guys on this team because, we had talked about in the past couple of games where we've been kind of underwhelming, not getting the contributions from the big men that we want. But at the same time, like they all showed up tonight, even though Bobby didn't shoot it well. Like he showed up and played well and played hard. Brook showed up from 3 and on the offensive end. And then obviously Giannis does what he does. This is the ceiling of what the Milwaukee Bucks can be. And we'll see if they're able to kind of, continue with that and continue to play good basketball.
Yeah, no, this absolutely is a ceiling. Like this looks like a team that can win a championship. I mentioned it on Twitter. I'm like, hey, OKC, and again, I don't know how much this Chet changed his basketball team. Is it a blip? I don't know. But I look at a team in the Milwaukee Bucks and I go, okay, these guys are ready. That's the effort that you want to see, man. Like that is 100% the effort. And you bring Khris Middleton in with that. You add Khris Middleton onto that, playing high IQ basketball. What more can you like? That's a team that can compete with Boston. That is a team, and I don't care what you say. That is a team. The Boston fans watched that game and they said, "Oh, it's not gonna be a cakewalk. This thing's not gonna be a cakewalk. Not when they're locked in like that. This is what the Bucks have been missing. Like you can talk about all the things that have happened with Milwaukee, but the main thing that's happened with Milwaukee, all people talk about the failures and everything, this, that, and the third. The biggest issue with the Milwaukee Bucks has been Giannis hasn't been available in some capacity during the playoff series. Like that's all we're missing. We just don't have Giannis. And Giannis changed the entire dynamic when he's playing like this, 26, 19, and 10. It felt like it was more than that. And then you have Dame pouring it on, hitting deep. I mean, some of those threes were deep. And then Andre Jackson Jr. with his defense. And I mean, some of those shots, got to figure out a way for them to knock them down. But again, it was an impressive, stellar performance from the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see what the chat saying. Alpha Camino for 3 says the mainstream media still thinks we are 2-8. Baruch says live. Martinez says NBA Cup champs, baby. I love how Giannis talked his ish tonight when receiving his Cup MVP. Anthony Lacey says Ajax had SGA locked up in my Akon voice. 24 shots to get 21 points. He absolutely did. Proud of the way this team is coming together. Malcolm Magden says this means a lot for a team. Todd Merrill says the cup doesn't mean anything. More impressed that they dominated the best team in the league. Also, a couple more. Justin One MK says Bobby, Brooke, and Khris going nowhere. Trade talk is nonsense. We can get into that in a second, Justin One MKE, because I don't know that is necessarily true. I still don't know if that's true. Daniel Joseph says, miss you guys. Great win, Bucks. We'll do one more here. Ian says that Ajax deserves all defense consideration. And Daniel Joseph says, I want to hear Big Head Agent Zero put some respect on our Bucks name. Go Bucks. Absolutely. All that and above. I want to get to the and let's see, Mac P with the super chat. Shout out to Mac P with the super chat. He says this was He says this was belt to bare ass victory. So he pulled the draws down with it. Belt to bare ass victory. Giannis deserves that 2024 MVP. Nobody touching Giannis. There's so many ways that you can go with this performance that the Bucks had. But I do want to ask you guys, going back to some of Todd's question here, what does this mean about the cup? Like winning the cup, does the cup mean anything? Or is it just that you beat high quality opponents? Are you taking anything from the Bucks winning the NBA Cup?
Absolutely. So we got to look at the fact that we started this season out 2-8, right? So being the fact that we started 2-8 and we were getting beat by every quality, low quality, mid-grade team in the NBA, we beat a lot of good basketball teams. But I'm from the mantra of, if you put a trophy in front of me, I'm going to get it. I don't care what it is. You give me a trophy for washing clothes the best, or folding the socks in the crib the best, I want that trophy if you give me opportunity to get it. And that's what I see Giannis and these guys do. Shout out to my guy Darvin Ham being undefeated in the cup and back-to-back double medals, we'll call it, because I don't think they give you a ring for that. But no, in all seriousness, man, this is a big win. It says a lot. Because all these guys, and like you mentioned in the pregame, they talk about trading Giannis. They talked about SGA is the best player on the floor. I didn't see it. I didn't think he was the second best player on the floor. And in that second half, he wasn't the third best player on the floor. I'm just saying. The Williams boy looked better than me. He might have been the fourth one. But, winning this cup is important because it was the next game on the schedule. But like Khris mentioned, we beat a 20-5 number one team in the West. That's why it's so important to me. Let's go ahead on and get a T-shirt and a cap, man. I'm going to order mine right now.
Yeah, I think you guys make great points, and I think that this is important only in the sense that you had some concerns about how you would match up with teams that are younger and more athletic, and tonight it didn't look like a factor at all. I really thought that the Bucks showed the effort and showed that their ability to be able to hang with a young athletic team, and they did that against Atlanta. So they proved themselves twice in a row against two young athletic teams. Yeah. And so that's the most encouraging part about it, because we did have those kind of concerns headed into the NBA Cup.
Timo 880, want to appreciate another super chat for Timo 880, says congrats to y'all boys. Celtics got something for that ass come April or May though. I don't know if Timo is an upset OKC fan or if he is a Boston fan. But either way, we appreciate the super chat. But yeah, I don't know. Again, we can talk about the Celtics too in a little bit. But for me, when you talk about what the cup means, I think you guys are a little bit of all of that. When you put a title in front of you, go ahead and win it. But again, it is more important that the Milwaukee Bucks went toe to toe to Oklahoma City Thunder team that again has an MVP type candidate. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and went right up with him and just absolutely demolished him. And I want to get, we say in the opening, Doc is our doctor. How about the coaching from Doc Rivers? I thought the game plan was excellent. Like I really thought the game plan was excellent. And how much of those threes Oklahoma City missed are you putting on Oklahoma City, or are you putting on the Milwaukee Bucks defense and how they rotate? I'll tell you. There were a few instances of getting beat back in transition on made baskets. I remember one in particular where it's off a free throw where they beat us back in transition and got a bucket. But there wasn't much of that. There wasn't much of missing guys of bad rotations. Basically, the worst part of the game I saw, honestly, was some of them in the first quarter where Andre Jackson would get beat off screens and then Brook would get caught in no man's land. After they cleaned that up in the first 5-6 minutes of the first quarter, the Bucks were fine defensively. Like that, like everything went well. And again, talk about Bobby Portis even. There just were not a lot of mishaps. And Andrew Jackson Jr. played well, stuck to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And again, you cut the that's how you win. You got to cut the head off the snake. Cut the head off the snake. And they were able to really shut Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They shut his water off. And after that, everything was good for the Milwaukee Bucks. So again, it was a really good night, 97-81. Listen, I'm excited. I think that let me ask you this, because there's a little bit of a debate on I went back and forth with Armin on 97.3, and we had some questions about what happened, or what would you do? Do you guys? So you win the NBA Cup. Remember last year, the LA Lakers, they displayed a banner. Do you put a banner up, or like how are you celebrating this NBA Cup?
So I forgot who said it, but someone said it on Twitter, and I completely agree with them. If we got banners up for Central Division Championship still, if we got Eastern Conference champion banners up and all that other stuff, then you absolutely put this banner up. If we're going to celebrate those other small accomplishments, this is just as good. And the thing that I liked about it so much tonight was we talk a lot about toughness, and we talk about how some things that guys using toughness kind of gets on our nerves when it's that pseudo toughness. I thought Andre Jackson Jr., and I meant to say this in my beginning, he brought toughness, and he let that big goof Harkenstein, your 7'2" floater shooting bum, he let him know you're not going to put your hand in my face, and whatever smoke you want, he bringing it. I love to see that from that kid, man. Don't back down. That's what we want more so than like pushing a dude into the crowd and getting a flagrant 2 foul on you. I do think, man, because the chat going crazy with all this OKC stuff, man. If they had Holmgren, it don't make a difference. You were missing Holmgren. We were missing Middleton. It's a wash. Well, Middleton's a better player than me. Sorry.
Yeah, to answer your first question about should there be a banner, I'm going to give you a hell no. But this is a really good accomplishment for a team that started the year so terribly and was now able to find it and gel so quickly and start to create some distance between the 500 record that we were hovering around. So I like it in that sense, but at the same time, you still got to be able to keep the main thing, and that is win an NBA championship. That is to win the NBA Finals, get Dame his first ring, let Giannis get a second one. And I think they're doing that. And there was nothing from the post game after they won that said that this was, their championship, their Super Bowl.
No.
So that's the good part about it. I think they know just as much as we want them to know that you still got to go out and win the NBA Finals. Like this is an accomplishment for some of the guys down the bench that maybe need an extra $500K, but outside of that, this is just a great showing from the Bucks, and you don't really have to spend too much time dwelling on this after the fact, and you got to continue to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, no, and it didn't. I didn't understand. Going back to your point, Justin, I didn't understand the whole Hartenstein. What was he upset? What I thought was that I thought that Ajax, and I would have thought it was incidental. I thought maybe he hit him with a cup check. Maybe did a little Chris Paul action. He just tapped him. Like he tapped Shai on the side, which is like I didn't understand what he got so upset about. But yeah, Ajax is absolutely right when he smacked his hand. Get your hand off me. That's exactly what he deserved.
He also had to hit him in the leg or whatever because big doofus is setting moving screens. But they called plenty of them joints on us. I don't like the way that team play basketball, man. Them boys are they man. SGA. You got the man hanging on Giannis' arm, and you got a ref debating if he gonna blow that whistle. After getting fouled 4 times going to the basket, you don't reward the mid-range jump shooting team that's not trying to go to the bucket with more fouls than a dude that goes to the bucket every single time. Like, when is dude going to get an MVP whistle? I shouldn't even be this upset because we won. But it's just bogus, man.
Yeah, I thought the whistles were odd too, and I thought OKC really benefited. He talked about hitting only 1 3 and only being down 1 at the half. I think because they got a parade to the free throw line. Somehow I thought they were just some odd calls I didn't really like. Giannis obviously could get a better whistle. I think we all know that as well. But again, the Bucks they do everything they needed to do tonight. They get the win. They figure this thing out. Again, it was just. it was a nice night to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan. And so I ask you guys this as we keep rolling. And that's the only other thing I'll mention on people in the chat that we're talking about Chet Holmgren. Here's the thing. Does Chet help them out? Again, some teams it's different. Offensively, I think Chet helps them out a large bit. Because, again, styles make fights. But you're playing against the Milwaukee Bucks. Chet's best defensive quality isn't that he's tough. It's that he's tall and lanky, and he can block shots. Like, he's able to do that against guys. But the difference is Giannis is a 7-footer who is trying to put his shoulder forearms. He's going right in your chest. He's going right and Chet as good as I think he has been. And again, I would say Chet has impressed me because I thought he was gonna be trash. So I was wrong about Chet Holmgren. I just did when I saw him. I said he ain't gonna do nothing. He has played well. Again, I'm not surprised that he has some injury issues, and I do think I would not be surprised if that continues throughout his career. I hope it doesn't. But I could see it just because of his body type and his build. But he ain't got nothing for Giannis. Like, he has nothing for Giannis. And OKC, again, when you look at potential matchups and what you can see and how they seem a bit small to me. They just seem a little bit too small. And again, I know Chet was out, but they seem a little bit small, and they weren't prepared. But I do want to ask you guys this as like I said, as we keep going this show. So you saw this. We talked about the Bucks winning the cup and where they are. Are the Milwaukee Bucks? Have you seen enough to say that they're back? Because again, they are one of the hottest teams in basketball. They're proving all things they need to prove. They're showing what they need to show. But again, you're still 14-11. You still have a race to go to put some separation on into the standings, and you need to continue this level of play. But have you seen enough to say, now these guys are back? They're playing like they need to play. They're back, and they ain't going nowhere. They're gonna look like the Milwaukee Bucks for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'd say we start. If we're not back, we're as close as you can be to being back. I mean, we're a game and a half behind the 3 seed now, and catching Boston or Cleveland, I don't know if that'll be a reality. I don't know if it won't be a reality. Going into Friday, that's going to show us a lot if we're back. We go into Cleveland and we push those dudes around too. I think it does. But, I mean, this team is playing a lot better basketball, and that's the most important thing. With us, though, for me, it's all about getting to that postseason, man. We gotta get to that postseason and get as healthy as we possibly can. So I think we're back. But it's a lot more to go upward from this, man. And this is why I said I didn't feel like that Boston team could necessarily go and punk us around and they would kill us. This is the type of team I was talking about.
Well, I definitely think you're trending in the right direction, right? I'm not ready to say we're all the way back because I don't know if anything ever really started. Like, we're still working to create distance, from some of these other teams in the East. We're still working to create distance from what we started, the 2-8. So I'm not really ready to say it's all the way there, but you can do wonders by just continuing to win games and prove to yourself, not only yourself, but the people who say that they aren't beating good teams, that you can beat good teams. And you've done that the past 2 games, and now you're going to be able to make it 3 in a row against Cleveland on Friday. So I think, like I said, headed in the right direction. Back, I'm not really sure if they even started anything yet. I think they're just finding their trajectory in this season, and then they can hopefully have a good rest of the season and get some good position seating wise, because we know how much seating has mattered lately for us.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think they are back, or as close to back as you could get. Again, not just because of tonight or because of what's happening in the Cup, but really just watching them play. I think the Bucks, if you look at them right now, they have the offense is in the last 10 games or so. Their offense has really picked it up. I think I can't remember what they are. I think they're like a top 5 offense in the NBA, something like that. And then defensively, I think they're like 13th or 14th over the past 10 games. So that's picking up. And then you look at and kind of actually how the Bucks looked as well, even under Adrian Griffin, where in the clutch, I believe they're top 3 offense and a top 3 defense in the clutch. So the Milwaukee Bucks, when it's time to score, when they need to get buckets, they get them. When they need to get stops, they get them. And I thought tonight was important because you didn't allow this team to get back into the game. I think that there was a moment where OKC got it to like maybe 9 or 10, whatever it was, and Gary Trent was hitting threes and stepped back.
It was like
they got it down
69, 64.
Well, yeah, I'm talking. What was it? In the fourth, I thought they got it down to maybe like 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah.
And
Brooke.
yeah, and those are games, right? But Brooke hit 3. Those are games where I thought the big one Brooke hit when he hit the 3 to put him up 17. That was really it. But those are games where in the past the Milwaukee Bucks that could have. I tweeted it was a 16-point game with 8 minutes to go or something like that. 7. Those are games where if you look early in the season and even some of the last season, you would have had to sweat to finish that game out. You would have let the Oklahoma City Thunder get back into that game. And again, I thought the Bucks were going to win just because of how they were playing. But it was one where you could make that thing much harder than it needed to be. And again, it was nice to see. You talk about belt to ass, but it was really nice to see foot to throat, where you say, listen, you're not getting back in this game. This is over. We finished it. Go ahead, empty your bench because we're done. And I thought that was just as impressive as what we saw, especially from the third quarter on.
Yeah, man, strong performance. Like you said, both sides of the ball. I mean, everybody that touched that floor today played on both ends of the ball. I think you watched one of those guys, Stack 5, one of those guys we're talking about, you can't really be considered one of the better players in the NBA if you can't play both sides of the floor. And I mean, even with your words, Pat getting cardio, I thought he did some timely just stuff. And it's things like that you got to do. His defense assignment was good. Made good passes, fed Giannis in the post, got Giannis to place where it was easy to score. The biggest thing in this game that was amazing to me was the big-to-big action with the passes from Giannis. Hey, one time for the one time. Giannis down to Lopez and Lopez back to Giannis. Like, those bigs are moving the ball very well. And if we going to play like this, like, I welcome Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis to check that because they not stopping that. Oh, and by the way, Middleton coming back too.
Yeah, to kind of expand on your point in terms of ball movement, like I think that's a part of the reason the Bucks are able to kind of hold on to these leads now is they're not making dumb decisions offensively that result in offense for the other team, right? Like moving the ball, taking smart shots, not taking shots too quickly into the shot clock. That all plays a part in being able to put your foot on next. So
foot on
next. So yeah, I just thought it was smart basketball down the stretch. And you credit Doc, you credit the players for that.
I'm going to ask you guys this too, as we keep rolling with this. The Bucks with a big win, 97-81. They are your NBA Cup champions. I want to ask you guys, when you look at what this team, and I think I've seen a little bit in the chat here, and Coach RJ says, beat the Cavs, Knicks, and so. First of all, what have the Knicks? Yeah, welcome back. What the hell have the Knicks done to tell me that I gotta beat the Knicks? The Knicks ain't done that. That's the thing. If the Cavs, Knicks, and Celtics, if they were really what they're supposed to be, I'll leave the Celtics out of it, but the Cavs and Knicks, they should be here. Why were you not in Vegas? Why were you not here? You weren't here. So come beat us. Come meet us you should have met us in Vegas. That's what the teams were. Come on. I don't want to hear that. You should have been there. They weren't there. They weren't good enough to be there. I don't understand that.
What was OKC record? Where are they in the Western Conference?
8-25.
Number 1, right?
Number 1, yeah. They there. Right. They there. But I want to ask you guys, in light of what you've been seeing, we're saying are the Bucks back. There was a report that Bobby Portis, I can't remember who put out the report. It was a credible NBA report, which I think we've known the Bucks have been shopping Bobby Portis. It was known they were shopping him last year before the deadline. And again, now that it's December 15th date has come up, more players are available. But there was a credible report, and I can't remember who did it, who said that the Milwaukee Bucks have been looking and shopping Bobby Portis. Do you still think this team needs moves to be made? Is Bobby Portis that name? I look, and so now maybe you say, hell, I've seen enough from what I need to see from Bobby Portis. Maybe it's Brooke Lopez that I need that I'd rather move, and we could play Giannis at 5. We could. But again, do moves need to be made? What level do they need to be made to get at? Or are you saying, okay, I've seen enough that we can stand pat and we're pretty good with where we are? Or is that where are you in light of what you've seen from the Milwaukee Bucks at this point?
So I give a lot of credence to what Richard Jefferson was talking about, how when Bobby comes in, especially when he comes in Milwaukee, he kind of picks the environment and the energy up when he comes in the game. And when he's playing better and good, like he could play these last 4 to 5 games, I don't think you move him. He's a bucket when we need a bucket. And I really thought that he was going to have to score more points with Middleton not being there tonight, but Gary Trent Jr. picked that up for us. I don't think you move Brook either. I think we're in a place with Brook where he's kind of the core of this defense. I do understand he's 36, so this is probably his last year in Milwaukee just because he's 36. And I mean, he can't play forever. I know Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady try to do it. Michael Jordan and LeBron are trying to do it. But at some point, Father Time's catching up with you. And especially with the role that Brook plays as that cog in the middle, you're going to kind of have to, at some point, cut ties with him. And even with Bobby. The only guy I would really want to see traded maybe is Marjan. And it's not from what can we get back from him? It's a let him go out and be great somewhere else because this clearly isn't the right fit for him in Milwaukee.
Well, that's coming anyway. That'll probably be after the season. He'll probably be gone, just signing somewhere else. But to me, like, I just don't think that regardless of how these guys are playing, these two valuable pieces that you have in terms of Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, regardless of how they're playing, like, we need them to be good for their value anyway. So I don't think it really changes much of my perspective that now that they've been able to put together a few good games that I'm just going to be like, nah, well, let's just run it back. Because that's what you've been doing, right? You've been doing this for the past couple of years and it hasn't worked out. So they would be fools not to at least throw those names out there and see what they can get back. And if they start playing even better, then maybe the names that you could get in return will be better, and then you make a move. So I'm not necessarily ready to say let's just stand pat on these guys because they've had a couple good games. No, but I do enjoy what they've been able to bring, especially to winning the NBA Cup. I think they were vital in winning this NBA Cup. And who knows, maybe if you do stand pat, then they'll be vital to winning an NBA championship. But to me, I just think that you've done the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, and it hasn't been that.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the day, this thing is going to run through Giannis and Dame, and that's why it's a scary sight, and you're trying to figure out what do you need to do, if anything, because you just haven't seen those two. And then you add Khris into it, your big three, big two, however you want to call it. You haven't seen them healthy in a playoff series. And so it's hard to say, well, yeah, let's do it without Bobby or let's do it without Brook. Because that's why John Horst makes the money that he makes, because those are the decisions that you have to figure out. You have to anticipate what it's going to look like. And so, yeah, Bobby in the lineup, Bobby out of the lineup, traded or whatever. If Giannis and Dame aren't healthy, none of this matters, right? None of it matters if those two are not healthy. And so again, what do you have tonight? 26 and 23. Somebody do some math for me. What's that? What's 26 and 23? That's 59.
Ooh,
that's 50.
49.
That's 49?
Yeah. 26
okay.
and 23. Yeah.
20. See, that's why I didn't. That's why I don't know, engineer, whatever the hell, astronaut, whatever the hell, I'm doing math. Okay, my bad. 49. So basically 49, 23, and 14.
But that's of your 97 points, though, right? Like, this isn't a game where they went for 122. Right. No, they scored 97. True. So that is still half of your points from those two. Just to lay that out there.
That's a great point. That's an excellent point. So you have 49, over half of the points that were scored from those two guys. You add Khris to that equation. Again, you have what you need from those players. And so that's what I'm saying. As long as they are healthy, yeah, maybe with Bob, maybe you have enough with just Bob. Maybe that truly is all you need. I don't know. But we definitely going to find out. Again, a good win for them tonight.
We're back in that bullpen thing that I was talking about before, once the season started, when Bobby was struggling so bad. When Middleton came back, everybody's piece kind of got more solidified with what their role is, and guys started playing better. Not just Bobby. I mean, Brooks playing better. Gary Trent Jr. is playing better. I mean, I don't know how much better AJ Green can play. That three that he hit over Big Goofy for the OKC, that was insane, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
No, you're good. I know if we had a situation, because I never mind. I thought I might have went out anyway. But no. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's keep rolling. And I want to ask you guys. And Coach Artist says, Joe, he's talking about one of the 06 teams we just named. Yeah, but again, there's a difference between what we were prior, starting off 2-8, and what we are now. And I think this Milwaukee Bucks team is totally different. You are starting to see a synergy that is much different. And again, maybe the biggest difference was the fact that Andre Jackson Jr. moved into the starting lineup, and you have a quality wing that can go out and defend. Listen, Andre Jackson Jr. tonight, and I don't know how much it will be talked about in the national media, and Andre Jackson Jr. went out and defended Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to a T. I mean, I don't know that you got many guys out there that can do what Andre Jackson Jr. did. And he used to do it, and last year you saw the glimpses, but he fouled a bit too much. This year he can do it without fouling as much. He is the prototypical player that you want to have as a big-time defender. I thought he had some good shots tonight that just didn't go in, even one that was around the cup. But he is making waves. And again, as long as he can remain somewhat useful on the offensive end, man, that 25 minutes for Andre Jackson Jr. tonight was huge. But I do want to keep rolling. I want to ask you guys about Khris. Actually, first I want to go to Twitter, and then I'll ask you about Khris Middleton. Let's go to Twitter first and see what the Twitter folks are saying. At 4F Apollo says the Bucks did a great job playing the same game they have all season. Continue to connect from three where OKC just fell flat. Beat the team in front of you. They're not NBA championship level yet, but this is a good indicator of get hot at the right time. Drew Barringer says, don't care if this game doesn't count for the record. It told me all I need to know about this Bucks team come playoff time, locked in when it matters. The funny thing about Drew Barringer is the Bucks will lose to somebody trash next week, and he'll tell you that the Bucks absolutely stink and the entire season's over. Maddie 15102 says, Cash is on the outside looking in. We don't have a big three anymore. Don't know if he'll make it through the trade season. Dude is never available. Move him for another shooter or defensive wing. So in a win, there's a tweet saying, Khris Middleton, get him out of here. Baldnower says, Giannis needs to be in Defensive Player of the Year talks now. At Jules ESQ says, Giannis showed the world that if defense is included, he's the clear MVP in the league. Let's do a couple more here. At Porque No Gui says the Milwaukee Bucks are a very good basketball team. Anyone says otherwise is a hater. Peterson _C1 says, I want to know where those front runner Pacer fans are from last year's tournament. Gabzo Rosanes says, honestly, 9 to 24 minutes were crucial. They did what they had to do and not make OKC win. And the media is really quiet about the Bucks past month. And let's do one more here. At GA_hoop says, the baddest MF resides in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let that be known. I want to go back to that other comment, though, about Khris Middleton that we had in the YouTube and Twitter, and people asking about him. So before the game, it comes out that Khris Middleton can't play, or that he was doubtful because of a non-COVID illness. I kind of immediately thought, is that a cover-up because this game doesn't count? I'm going to take the Bucks at face value that he had some type of illness. They then came out and said, hey, before the game, Khris started feeling bad yesterday, came to shoot around this morning or whatever. Doc didn't like the way he looked, said he didn't look good in shoot around, or the practice the day before looked like crap when he got to when I guess they met this morning and said, hey, go back to your room. I don't want anybody to get sick. You're done. I do think that if this was a big time game, playoff game, there's no way you're not playing because you have flu-like symptoms in a game like this. You're going to give it a go. So I think that does show you that how the Bucks at least valued this game. I don't think, again, and then there is this question of that is valid of like, well, if he could have played, because you're just not telling me that flu-like symptoms means you don't play in a game that you really want to play in. So he chose not to play, and I just was looking at him smiling here, but he didn't play in this game. Does that say anything? I'm going to say no, because again, the game did not count. It didn't matter. I'm totally okay with him missing it. But just what does that mean? If anything, it could mean nothing, but does it mean something to you that in a game of somewhat important? Again, I looked the way they played like it mattered. But in the game that didn't matter, the record book stat, whatever, did you feel any type of way that Khris Middleton said, nah, I'm good. I got a cold tonight. Can't go.
Absolutely not. I don't feel any type of way. Like, it's a struggle for what I'm battling to sit here and be on this post game tonight. So maybe I got a little bit more sympathy from Khris. I mean, I missed work today because I was down to the dubs from this crap or whatever. I mean, the only good thing that came from this flu is we didn't have to hear Doris Burke tonight. She missed the game for the flu too. So I think it's Las Vegas, Nevada. I think there's things definitely going around. I mean, you got people come from all over the world to come to this place. Sick or not sick, you're not going to miss a Vegas trip. I truthfully felt like it may be the first day of it. He felt weak from it. We saw Taurean Prince. It happened to him in was it the Brooklyn or the Boston game where he got sick at halftime and he couldn't come back?
Yeah, I think that was Brooklyn? No, that was Boston.
Yeah,
that was Boston. Yeah.
It happens when you're going through the flu or a non-COVID illness, and the first day is usually your roughest day. And it's just it doesn't make any sense to put him on the court to risk our guys getting hurt. Then you have a flu outbreak in the locker room, and then we're stuck with the Wisconsin herd in Cleveland. Or even at the other side, the OKC guys. You don't want those guys to get sick. So it's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I'm glad he didn't play if he didn't feel well, man. Get well soon, Khris. Get back Friday. I'm not going to hold a flu game up in the same atmosphere as hold on. For all these people talking about the man didn't play, they said the man had to learn how to walk again. The hell you talking about? If the man can't walk and you talking about he should rush back and play in the game, man, get out of here with that garbage. Half y'all people would miss work for a hang toenail. And this man had 2 ankle surgeries and can't walk. And we talking about he should be on the court. That's terrible. We owe that man an apology.
Yeah, this to me is kind of a non-story because he missed 22 games before, right? Or 21 games before. So it was like, all right, this puts us in a spot where we've been before, at least this season, without him. And they went and showed up and did their thing, and everybody showed up, and you got to win. And you dominated in a win without Khris Middleton. So I'll give him a pass, whether it is ankle soreness or if he is really sick. I was just happy that the Bucks were able to take it on the chin and then just go out and perform and not have to use any of those as an excuse, any of whatever he's dealing with as an excuse. But yeah, I mean, it's just hopefully we get him back on Friday and we can continue this thing with Khris in the lineup. But if not, you see what the Bucks can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm with you guys. To me, I thought it was a little bit overblown. People upset about Khris Middleton missing this game again. If there was a game to miss, this would be the game to miss. It's not. It's an NBA Cup game. This is the one where the stats don't count. You're playing for $500,000, which again, it's a large amount. But when you talk about your goals at the end of the year, which are winning the championship, then yeah, this ain't the one that you got to go all out for. Dancing with Paper says he's placing a $10,000 bet on the Bucks winning the championship because of us. So hey, if you place a $10K on the Bucks to win a championship because of us, I'm just saying, I feel like if they do it, we should get a little bit of cut, little something in there.
And don't be showing up at my front door either if it doesn't happen, because I did not tell you to put $10K on the. Nah, that's your decision.
I don't think it's the worst bet in the world.
It's not. It's not. There's a lot of value in that. But
that'll pay.
At the same time, if it doesn't happen, then don't blame us. Don't say we did it for you.
Yeah, let us know what you got on that. I know anybody know where you can spend $10K and get all your money's worth?
Curly's
Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Yeah, you absolutely can. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You can spend all your money there. Get everything. It's worth it. Get out to Curly's on Lakeview Boulevard, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. You could have been there tonight, and you would have you'd have $3 bottles and pints, courtesy Michelob Ultra. During all 10 Milwaukee Bucks games, go out there and enjoy that. And then, of course, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Oh man, anybody know what tomorrow is?
Wednesday
night. So I mean, they got bingo going on there. Everybody know then Thursday, they got trivia going on. If you do well in bingo, you do well in trivia out at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You know what you can get, Chris King?
Tickets,
section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. Tell them the Guru sent you. Tell them the Cream City Crossover sent you over there to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And they may ask you a question, something like, who holds the record for most total NBA all defensive team selections? Who is it and how many did he have? Anybody know?
Most total all defense.
Total all defense selections. Anybody know? Anybody know? Incorrect.
Damn.
I'm gonna go Dennis Rodman.
No, Tim Duncan with
That's
14. 14,
Damn,
Tim Duncan.
14?
Yeah, he was balling. he was balling, wasn't he? 97-81, the Bucks beat the Oklahoma City Thunder for the win the Emirates NBA Cup championship out in Las Vegas. Did exactly what they needed to do. Again, it was a a fun night for the Milwaukee Bucks. If you're watching that, you had to be impressed. Jimmy Linky says Middleton was celebrating in between liquid shits. Okay.
Hey,
Yikes.
good observation. Good observation.
Hey, real quick, if the homie really makes that $10,000 bet and they win it, that'll pay $270,000.
Oh yeah, you gotta give a little something of that, dog. You gotta give a little something.
Yeah.
If you saying we the motivate, if you saying we the reason, yeah, you gotta leave a little cut, dog. Cause that betting 10,000, that means you got a little something to throw on. That means you got a little something to lose. So
go ahead and sponsor the post game.
There you go. You absolutely can. You should start your business, sponsor the post game. Anthony Lacey says Khris had got to play a good stretch of games so he can get chemistry with Dame and Giannis. Dame is just now beginning to get real comfortable playing with Giannis. I agree with that, Anthony. I do think that Dame and Giannis definitely seem more comfortable on the floor together. They're doing a really good job together. And then I think, for me, the biggest thing about Giannis is the difference between Giannis. We talked about, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, where he is, and this MVP stuff. And I want to ask you guys that too. The difference for me is those guys. When you talk about the other two that are involved, Luka and Joker, they can't do it at the defensive level. Like you talked about 3 blocks for Giannis. There was a play, and again, you saw it in Atlanta, which may be one of the best defensive plays of the year. Reminds you of what happened out in Phoenix, what he did to DeAndre Ayton. But sunblock, right? But what you saw, there was a play tonight, and I can't, where somebody got the ball underneath the basket. Giannis jumps, makes him throw a wraparound pass. Great idea. And Giannis, immediately he's jumping one way. The wraparound pass happens on the backside. Nobody's back there to cover it. Giannis immediately jumps again, and whoever that was Hartenstein that got the ball, throws it right over the backboard, throws it, other side of the backboard. And it's those kind of plays as well. Giannis, when he is locked in on the defensive side of the ball, Luka, Joker, those guys can't do it. Those guys, they don't have that. And that is the difference. Even if you want to say, Joker is the best passer and passing big in the game. Giannis can't shoot like Luka. Cool. Let's count defense. Because neither one of those guys can. How many times did I see the other night Giannis matched up on Trae Young? Giannis can match up on. There's no mismatches. Giannis can match up on a small. Giannis can match up on a big. Giannis can protect the rim. Giannis can play off ball. He literally does everything on a floor. And when he is locked in, it is a different level. Giannis looks like a guy who is playing at that level, playing as the guy who could easily be a defensive player of the year candidate. He's going to be, I think was he second team on defense last year? I think once they gave him a step back. He went first team on defense last year. I had to check that. But he should be back in that first team conversation with the first team on defense. I know they like to talk about Anthony Davis, but Giannis is a better defender than him as well. And then from an MVP standpoint, my God, the only thing he doesn't do is hit free throws. That's the flaw. You saw that shot he hit. I think it was in the fourth quarter the other night against Atlanta. You saw the step back jumper mid range that he has going for him. He has improved his game. I know they call him run and dunk, but man, I just have to talk about to me, and I'm trying not to be biased. Giannis is the MVP. Like he just is.
Yeah, I also think when you factor in kind of the storyline of the way this season has gone, like there shouldn't be any other like candidate that has had a bigger storyline than Giannis, right? Like being out there for the bad, but also for the good, and really not taking any dip in play, but also, finding that trajectory to get back on the winning path and then go get you this NBA Cup. That has to matter to some people in this kind of narrative role. If you have a vote, like, come on now, this guy just went from 2-8 to now, a couple games over 500 and winning the NBA Cup and not taking any hit in his production with Khris coming back and being in and out of the lineup. And so, yeah, I think there's definitely a case for Giannis, and there should be a case over some of these other guys that are at the top, especially when you just went head-to-head with one of those guys and beat him by 16. And then you also, when it comes to Jokic and Luka, like, there's got to be some voter fatigue there. Hello? Like, Giannis has been probably the prime victim of voter fatigue. And, you know, Jokic and Luka are just able to stay at the top because they're on good teams. Like, I don't get that. So I'm hoping Giannis gets some heavy consideration this year.
Yeah, and sorry about the technical difficulty, but for the defensive player of the year stuff and definitely the MVP stuff, I mean, it's not just the stuff, and you mentioned one of the plays with Harkenstein with the wrap around the back pass. Yeah. Look at the way he was contesting those shots on the perimeter. I'm talking about running from underneath the basket, and he's a big reason why they missed some of those shots as well. Wide open 3-point shots at when you got a 7'7" wingspan dude jumping at you, he's going to deflect it. There's so many things that he does better than Luka, and the thing about it, the reason why he gets his buckets every night is because Luka is one of the guys that relies solely on shooting. Who was SGA checking tonight? I think it was Gary Trent Jr. in that second half where he went crazy.
What might have been, but I also saw him a lot of times was checking Andre Jackson Jr. trying to hide him on defense too.
So if you're not guarding the best player on the floor, and you're having an off night, and your game is rattled by. We know who Andre Jackson Jr. is. We respect him. But I guarantee you the rest of these NBA pundits from all over these other teams don't even know who the hell this guy is right now. Hey, man, it can't be you. If you're supposed to be him, you should have had your team closer.
I'm with you 100%. King says that boy. Oh, he's talking about that boy. Khris was balling tonight. State of Mind says props to Doc, whatever he said to have those boys locked in. They absolutely did. And I think as well, you notice Giannis has been more of a vocal leader as well this year. It seems like he's really stepped that up. Let's do I think it's time. Let's do game balls. As the Bucks win at 97-81 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. I saw 608 UW asking about the Dayton game. We'll get into that and look around as well as we have returned from Dayton.
I'm itching.
So we are definitely going to address what went down in Dayton, Ohio. What is that? 618? Where is that? 937.
Yeah.
937. What's 618? Was that Cincinnati?
No, that's 513.
No.
I don't know what 618
Okay,
is.
I don't know what maybe I don't know where I got 618 too. But anyway, 9-3. We're in 937. It was fun. Let's do game balls. Who you guys doing game ball tonight?
So you know me, I always got to cut my joint up. So I'm gonna go have to. I mean, Giannis and Dame. I feel like we could give it to them every night because those guys just play at such a high level and they put this team on their back and they carried it. But I'm gonna go half to Andre Jackson Jr. for his great defensive performance on the alleged MVP candidate that's above Giannis. And then the other one would have to be Gary Trent Jr. for that second half, man. We don't pull away that far in that game and blow these boys' doors off their car if it's not for Gary Trent Jr.
That's a good save right there. Blow these boys' doors off their car. I like that. That's a good save. No, to me, like you said, Justin, similar to what Gary Trent Jr. did, I'm giving it to Dame because I know Trey will probably you'll make the right decision. But I'm gonna give it to Dame because after halftime, when he comes out blazing and just knocking down threes, and he's a microwave out there that never stopped. And so I think that's really what kind of propelled this Bucks team to get out in front and then never stop. Like, those were tremendous threes, and for him to do that back to back and create a big lead, I think that's what really helped this Bucks team get in a rhythm and then be able to coast throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'll go Giannis. I'll make the right decision. As you mentioned there, 26, 19, and 10. 5 stocks on the night, 10 and 19. Like I said, the only thing he didn't do well was shoot free throws, 6 of 11, or else you're talking about another 30-plus point night for Giannis. He was a plus 13, plus 14 on the night. Again, the 19 rebounds were huge. He was on a mission to get boards on the glass. I have a feeling sometimes that Giannis can get 17, 18 rebounds whenever he wants to. I think sometimes he gets a little bit lazy, and you realize that you can't I don't say you can't put that effort out every single night, but I think he does start to conserve just a little bit of energy at times. But tonight, the 19 boards, you saw him, he was out on a mission. And again, I think somebody said it on Twitter. I was looking at, but it just sucks that we've been robbed of 2 years of non-Giannis in the playoffs, because these are the efforts. This is the effort that you get. And this is why you can never count out a Giannis team. When you get to the playoffs, you just can't. That's why, against Boston, whoever, they always got a shot because Giannis is just that good that he's going to give you a shot. And I think his level of play elevates the others around him. 26, 19, and 10. Messed around in the NBA Cup and got a triple-double. It is, I mean, it's only been, the NBA Cup's only been around for 2 years. But this is by far the most dominant NBA Cup performance of all time. I feel like I can stand on a limb and easily say that. The Milwaukee Bucks get the win tonight. State of Mind says Prince and Ham undefeated. And he also gives his game ball to Thanasis. Thanasis still undefeated courtside. Bucks win at 97-81. Let's do a look around. No other games in the association tonight. Dayton got a 1-point win. Am I right? Over UNLV at the buzzer. But we were in Dayton, Ohio for Dayton Marquette. And I'm just gonna let you see Justin with the Dayton shirt on here. The final Saturday night was 71-63. Dayton beat the unranked Dayton Flyers beat a number 6 ranked Marquette basketball team. It was a fun game that you saw there. Cam Jones had 18 points, Ben Gold 9 points, 2 boards. You look at on the Dayton side of things, my boy Goggles Key had 15, Santos with 12, Malachi Smith 6 points, 11 assists on the night. But it was a fun night. I would say Dayton, the experience was great. The arena was great. It was, I mean, I couldn't ask for more than the nicest. I mean, seriously, some of the nicest people that were at that game. And so I really did enjoy my time out in Dayton. But I mean, I know that Justin is a big Marquette fan. Again, I'm a Marquette fan too. You know, we were in there. There were some Marquette fans in the building there in Dayton, Ohio as well. But they lost 71-63, and I just wonder, why do you have on a Dayton shirt?
Yeah, you know, I'm a man of my word. If I make a bet, I wear it. I wear it proudly. I feel like everything that you said was spot on, man. Great environment, phenomenal place to go watch a college basketball game. I think Cam, with a little bit of lack of good choices, would really cost that game, man. Cam Jones can't be in foul trouble that game. I know Chris gonna get in here and puff his chest about AG. He's all right.
What the A stand for?
Adjustments.
There you go.
That ass should have been ejected. No, but I seriously think like Shaka had a great game plan. He took their guards out of there. They couldn't do much with the game plan other than Cam Jones made a lot of questionable foul decisions. He's normally a better defender than that. Can't have that happen if you want to be. We just talked about it with Giannis and with SGA. If you're the best guy in college basketball, you're on the Naismith watch list. We need you on the floor getting buckets because if he was on the floor, he was killing them.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you guys pulling up to Dayton, and like you guys mentioned, I hope we gave you everything that you look for in a college basketball setting, a college basketball environment. I talk about Dayton all the time, and I really don't think a lot of people who haven't been to the city or been to a UD Arena for a game understand how much we love college basketball. And I think that showed on Saturday versus the Marquette Golden Eagles. And I'll give credit to Shaka, right? Being willing to accept this home and home and come to Dayton when not a lot of teams want to come into to UD Arena and play a good team. And, you know, I think this was a game that Dayton ultimately just had more heart. They had more will to win. And I think you saw that in the second half. I credit AG for some of the adjustments. Some of the baseline out-of-bounds plays were awesome, phenomenal, getting Key open and getting him his open looks. But I felt like this Dayton team definitely had the guys to kind of play with Marquette and be able to compete. So all the stuff about, oh, yeah, well, they just look fast. No, like when styles clash and you got that arena behind you and you've got the will to win, things happen in your favor, and I thought that's what went down in that second half. It was incredible. I got to shout out Malachi Smith, who just had the game winner tonight against UNLV. He had 11 assists, no turnovers in that second half versus Marquette, and he was really good with the ball in his hands. After they kind of took, like you said, Justin, they took our guards away in the first half, and then we started to get going. Enoch Cheeks made some big plays. Nate Santos on the offensive rebounding really did a good job of sealing that victory. So all in all, I had a great time, a great experience having you fellas in the building, and this is what sports is about, right? We start this podcast, we hadn't met each other at all, but these guys pull up on me and come to UD Arena for an incredible game, and a game that we may see a rematch in March. I felt like these are two high-caliber teams, and definitely not the end for either of them. I think both teams will be in March, and we'll see if they end up meeting up later on. But yeah, I just got to credit the Dayton guys for having the heart and will to win. They started the second half with 7 turnovers, ended the game with 7 turnovers. So just a tremendous job executing after being down 13 points. It's the heart of the Dayton Flyers, man. They've got good players, but the effort was there, and kind of beat Marquette at its own game, forcing turnovers and causing havoc like Shaka created when he was back at VCU, and that's what Dayton did in the second half. Allowed them to prevail and allowed us to be a top 25 along with Marquette. And I have no ill will towards Marquette. I thought they're a good team. And so, yeah, hopefully that's one of many coming, and we'll probably be at the one in Fiserv next year. So excited for that as well.
Yeah, you can't be out there freestyling before the game if you're not going to perform, Cam Jones. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, it was a real good game, real good environment.
I may have some harsher words on 97.3 when I'm talking to the Milwaukee audience and the Marquette audience, but I'm just thankful you guys were able to pull up and have a good time, and certainly thankful we were able to get the win. Sorry, I would kill them with kindness, right? Like, I don't really have much bad blood towards Marquette. I think they're a phenomenal team, and Cam Jones is good too. So,
yeah, no, it was good. It was definitely good. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Only other thing I wanted to get to and look around is the thing that I think a lot of people have been talking about. I wanted to get your thoughts. I would have definitely enjoyed to hear JT's thoughts if he was here on this one, but again, it's just been all over the news. Everybody keeps talking about it. It's Travis Hunter's girlfriend, fiance, Leanna Lani. I didn't even know her name. Leanna Lani. She is right now in a massive psychological battle with the entire internet. The internet has basically contended that she is a bad person, and that Travis Hunter, who's about to make a massive pile of cash from the NFL, needs to get out quick. Basically, I mean, if you saw her, there's been a number of different issues. Basically, people are calling her a gold digger to say she's going to ruin him financially. She released an 8-minute video the other day that kind of addressed some of this backlash. But in the news, basically what's been talked about is, I don't know if you saw the Heisman Trophy presentation. Looked like Deion Sanders had to tell her to get up, and like Deion had to tell her to get up and congratulate Travis Hunter after he was announced as the Heisman winner. There was the incident that took place. I think where it kind of started. One of these places that started was the incident that took place when during the game, during the last game against Oklahoma State, where she came down after they won and looked upset, had some words with Travis Hunter there. And then there was this incident at this Adidas photo shoot or whatever, where she's caught on camera. Travis Hunter is literally in front of fans, in front of people, taking pictures, shaking hands with fans. And you hear her off to the side, literally saying, I think she said, I got to sit here all day or something. This is all I'm supposed to do is sit here all day. And it's an incredibly bad look. So this is I'm definitely interested in you guys' thoughts. I'll say this. I think, number one, she needs media training, PR training. She's not ready for the type of spotlight that is coming with this. And the only thing I guess that I want to get at is there are other women who have had problems with this. And I think what you have to realize is that you're not the prize. Travis Hunter is the prize. Like, that's how this thing goes. And you know who had a problem with this recently, and who has not had a problem with it anymore? Aisha Curry. I remember Aisha Curry was there was a stretch where Aisha Curry thought everything was about her. And she realized quickly it's not. It's about Steph. And I'm not saying that, like, for a woman that you can't have your own thing that you're not. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, from a celebrity standpoint, again, so I just want to be careful. I'm not saying she's a nobody, but from a celebrity, from a worldview standpoint, because I'm sure she's a great mom, and I'm sure they're all that to her family and people that she knows in real life. But from a celebrity standpoint, from a worldview, nobody knows you. We know you as Steph Curry's wife. That's how we know you. I don't know you from anything else. I don't know you from so this Travis Hunter. All we know you is being Travis Hunter's girl. We don't know you from nothing else. So you have to act accordingly, and you need to fall in line and remember that he's the prize, not you. And I think some media, and that's the thing. You can be annoyed. There's nobody saying you can't be annoyed that you're at a signing and that you just sitting there doing nothing. Nobody's saying you can't be annoyed at that. You can't show it. You can't do that when he's got fans sitting in front of him. So it was an incredibly bad look. And then I think the only thing I'll say is, like, there are other people, like, so Sierra, right, who's a wrestler. She is her own celebrity outside. She doesn't. So you have a little more credence to say things and do things when you are she has her own group of fans. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce has her own group of fans. That she didn't need Jay-Z. Simone Biles, right, is more impressive than her husband, right? But even he at least is a part of a team that has that would have some type of following from diehard fans who would enjoy you. Again, I don't want to say you're a nobody, but to the world, nobody knows you. You got to act like that. And again, maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe she wants to be known, and maybe that's why she feels like she can do this, because now, hey, maybe if Travis leaves, hey, I can still do my thing. Maybe she wants to get in those circles. But again, I think you need to take the route of what Ayesha Curry is doing now, because I haven't heard of Ayesha Curry doing much. She's being like I said, I don't want to say a good wife, but she's not getting herself in the spotlight. Savannah James, stay out of. I get and just so I'll be equal opportunity. I say the same stuff about what's Christian Watson's dad? What's the man? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, stay out the media, dog. Like, realize, your son is the star, not you. It's not you. Same thing. LeVar Ball had, again, LeVar Ball is a little bit same thing at some point. And do you think it's a coincidence now that the only one who is still stuck up around LeVar Ball is LiAngelo? And that's because he ain't got his own. He never really carved out his way, so he is still attached to him. Lonzo and LaMelo have both kind of distanced themselves from what that man has going on. So again, when you try to live through your kid, or if you try to live through your spouse or significant other and try to make their spotlight yours, it just doesn't work out well. And again, the media the media and the internet, they're not going to be kind to you. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I think you saw that with Matthew Stafford's wife as well when she was doing that podcast or whatever. And I'm just going to say this because I don't know the parameters. I gotta preface it with this young brother and this young woman. They're in their early 20s, so I think that she definitely has some maturing to do, and maybe Travis has a little bit of maturing to do to be able to understand how to have a relationship with her. I think he really loves her and he cares about her. I hate that they're doing these big old videos on Twitter of 8 minutes long and all that stuff. Just don't do it. Like, you're never gonna win. And now, I mean, even look at us for. We get people that DM us negative stuff after a show sometimes. People will say this and they'll say that. You can't worry. If you want to put yourself out there, you can't worry about what those other people say. I think a woman that did a great job with it and then kind of branched away and carved her own niche was Shawnee O'Neal. I didn't hear a lot about Shawnee O'Neal when Shaq was whatever, and now she does all that basketball wire stuff that, the women in my house love to watch and stuff like that. But after Chris King goes, I got two more things for look around too, though, man. But, hey, man, just – Travis and her, man, keep your business behind closed doors. Don't get it out here in the public. And hopefully both of them learn from this manner. And going forward, they'll both be better.
Man, I could not care less. I'm sorry. Like, I just, like, I like Travis Hunter as the football player. And that's all I need to know him from. Like, I don't need to, yes, I understand in this era where you can capitalize off of name, image, and likeness, you can get on those live streams and you can do all this stuff. But what comes with that is, the people around you that you have ever so close to you are going to be watched just as much as you. So I can't really fault the people, for reacting to this and having their own opinions on it, because shoot, he's got her with her. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that, maybe he'll learn from it. Maybe he's exactly right. Maybe he does like her and she likes it, whatever it is. Like, maybe she's not in it for the bad that people are speculating on. So yeah, I just think that this is some off the field stuff that, as a sports fan, don't care.
But that's the thing. You don't want to end up. This is the thing. You don't want to end up like Zion, because you look at Zion, the stuff that's off the court happening with Zion
too.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Because I like Travis Hunter. I don't know anything about this girl. I like Travis Hunter, and again, Travis Hunter might be in Carolina Blue. So I need all the distractions away, especially if he's in Carolina. One thing before you go, Justin, I don't know if you saw this, but Giannis was on the podium tonight talking about how so Liam Robbins with his $500,000 is going to buy a house in Iowa. So that's just a cool thing that the Bucks were able to do, and the Giannis was able to help get Liam a house. But anyway, go ahead, Justin, with your things you want to do for the look around, and then we can wrap this thing.
So I got a thing for you, Mr. MEAC football player. You got Mike Vick coming down to Norfolk State.
Yeah.
And then I got one other thing after we talk about that. But what do y'all think about Mike Vick going to Norfolk State?
I think it's a great thing. And I said it on Twitter. I think the first thing Mike Vick should do is call Deion Sanders. And I'm sure Deion Sanders would help him tremendously and have that conversation. And again, now I said this before, Mike Vick turned into a real sellout. So so there's some things I don't like about Mike Vick. But the younger kid in me who watched Mike Vick appreciates, what, that he's turned his life around, really. So that's what prison is for. Whether dog fighting, I get it, whatever.
Oh, come on.
I think people, I'm just saying, I'm just saying that, what he did was wrong. Do I think you should go to federal prison for, come on, for fighting dogs?
More than just that,
come on. That's just me. I mean, listen.
Fighting. I mean, he was like hanging the dogs and drowning them. And
But his thing, he wasn't hanging anybody. He was facilitating some of that.
That's not good.
He didn't do it. He literally didn't do any of this stuff. But that's neither here nor I don't want to relitigate it.
That's not true. That's not true either.
What?
Okay,
you want to out? Yeah, okay.
I put it to you like this. I work in the veterinary field. I know the veterinarian that was the lead investigator on that.
Okay, so maybe we can talk off air.
We're talking.
Vic was hanging them dogs too. Either way, listen, I don't want to. But I'm just. I thought the time was a little harsh on Mike Vick for the dog. But I know people are fully invested in dogs, but somehow can slaughter cows and chickens. That's fine though. If they all animals clearly are not created equal, I get that. But I'll say this about Vic. I'm glad. My point is, he got to prison. You turn your life. That's what prison is for. It's not to stick people in there and throw away the key and never look at them again. What you should do when you get out, can you retrain things, turn your life around? I'm glad that he has. Even though he says some things I don't necessarily agree with or like at times. But yeah, he needs to call Prime up. And again, you're seeing it. Bill Belichick, Mike Vick. You're going to see more of it. I saw Ron Rivera on an interview saying, hey, he'd be interested in the college. These jobs are about to become, again, I think they were looked at sometimes as less than, but now with the way NIL is going, now they fully embraced, hey, this is basically a pro league. That's big, because that's what we've now, I think it was always a wink, wink, nod, nod. Now it's fully a pro. This is a pro league. This is its own pro. This is the only XFL. Yeah, people don't really like USF, whatever they call that, USFL. Yeah, arena. Yeah. This people will take as another form of football that they will 100% watch, and it can be it already is a multi-billion-dollar business. Yeah, I think you're going to see some of the bigger names jump into this thing, and I think that thing will continue down that line. Again, you saw what's his name, Age Rosanowski gets into the back college, and you saw Mark Lazary say he wants to get into investing into college sports as an owner. this will continue to grow. I think it's good for the game. I think, again, it's just another form of people getting paid. I'm all for it. And again, I think Mike Vick, again, why not? Why not? The model seems to have worked. Go out and do it. Another guy people don't talk about is not as much fanfare. Eddie George is doing it. You see him. Whatever happened to Ed Reed? Did he not ever get a job? I know he blew up with the people.
I don't know. He ruffled some feathers with the administration down there, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, I know. I thought he would got another 10 somewhere though. But anyway, I'm happy. I like it.
Yeah, I think this is good for Norfolk State. Like, I think Mike Vick, I don't know how he would be as a coach, but I think regardless, like, just the image and what he's been able to do on the NFL field, like, you're definitely going to get some guys in that building because they want to play for Mike Vick. And they don't even have to have watched him up to this point. It's still a household name that people are going to give credit to. He's going to have some credibility from day one walking in that door. So I think it's great, and love to see just the amount of star power, like you mentioned, Trey, in college sports nowadays. It's really getting fun, and a lot of eyes are on it.
Yeah, I mean, just the last thing I got, man, and I didn't read much into it because we were on this with it, but it just came across that 91-year-old Hubie Brown will be doing his last game February 9th in Milwaukee. So I'm going to go on this limb and saying the reason why he's doing it in Milwaukee, because that's where he got his coaching start on those championship teams and stuff like that. But just hell of a career. Sometimes don't agree with his announcing and maybe a little bit past his prime, but coming up and grown and raised on Bob Uecker. Hey, it's good for Hubie, finishing a good land, and hopefully we'll bring him back for the parade this summer.
Yeah, they said if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm gonna leave Hubie alone.
They do say, like, you get up in age that, you got to get out of the house some way to, keep it going, keep working, and that helps you, stay alive maybe. So I think, he's had a great career, regardless of broadcasting or not. So, I mean, congrats to him, and enjoy retirement.
Yeah. Enjoy retirement, Hubie. I give him congrats, man. He has had a long career. Listen, man, he stayed in a little too long. He kind of Ruth Bader Ginsburg'd it, but it is what it. Let the young bloods get into the game, man. That's all I'm saying. Let the young bloods do some things. But again, they hired Doris Burke, so I don't know. Anyway, huh?
Nothing. I said thank God for the flu.
Exactly. Bucks winning tonight, fellas. It was a nice game for the Milwaukee Bucks. 97-81 to beat the Thunder. Leross says, damn impressive win for you Bucks fans tonight. You should enjoy. Congrats. That was legit. Yeah, I think that was the most impressive thing. It was legit. Not to say I don't enjoy games that come down to the wire, but it didn't seem fluky at all. The Bucks really controlled the basketball game, didn't let Oklahoma City get back into it. And again, I don't think it was one of those nights where, like, they didn't shoot well, but I really thought the Bucks really, did their thing. I think it was a dominant and impressive win, and it wasn't just like, Oklahoma City didn't have their A game or didn't play well. No, the Bucks took it to them. Like that was a big time win. So I really I enjoyed that. Any final thoughts on a 97-81 victory to Milwaukee Bucks, your Emirates NBA Cup champions for 2024?
Yeah, I gotta figure out where to buy this shirt and hat, man, because we the champs. I'm gonna wear it probably like anything, but hey, man, it was a good win seeing them beat a quality opponent. And let's get ready for Friday, and let's go out and do the same thing in the land. And then, we got college football coming up, so it's a great time, man. A lot of sports. Somehow we don't have a Christmas Day game, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. I think a lot of good things to take away from this game. I think the Bucks really shared the ball well. The ball was popping, and we made shots, and we defended at a very high level. And you just got to keep bringing this same fight, this same effort to these next couple of games until you get to where you want to be in this season, and until you get everybody to full health, stuff like that. Like, you just got to continue bringing that effort night in and night out, because I know one guy will do it, and that's Giannis. But the rest of the guys have to follow suit, and I think this gives a little extra motivation after winning the NBA Cup. And hopefully, this Milwaukee team is able to come out with a win in the state of Ohio, unlike the Golden Eagles. So, looking forward to Friday.
That's a good shot.
The Milwaukee Panthers just beat up on Akron, so we got one of them.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I'm with you guys, man. Good win for the Bucks tonight. That was fun. Let's go out Friday. Let's keep this thing rolling, and again, continue to show teams and continue to show the entire league and and the pundits that the Milwaukee Bucks are for real. And they can go out and beat quality opponents. And again, this one, it's a shame this one doesn't count. Of course, if we lost, I'd say it didn't count. But it's a shame this one didn't count for the stat books because again, the Bucks did their thing and got a big time victory. Kind of like those what were those games, the in season term, not in season term. What the what's the 7 through 10 game, the playing games? Those don't count either towards the stats. So they don't count towards playoff stats. Don't count towards there's nothing there. So again, kind of in the same vein. But the Bucks get the win tonight. Enjoyed it. Do their thing. We'll see you guys Friday night. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Well, let me see. Last Man Standing says, yo, we all heard leading up to this game was how that Thunder defense was going to run it up on us and how they were the best in all defensive categories, how Dame wasn't going to make it right, wasn't going to make the right play. What up now with the chip? Yeah, no, 100%. Right there with you. I mean, they weren't just saying it leading up to the game. They were saying at halftime. They were down one. And they got Stephen A. Somebody in the chat also said, I wish they – yeah, it's it's so whack they don't do a post-game shot. I understand ESPN's thing. We'll get them another time. How do you not have a post-game show to kind of talk about this? Yeah, I fully wanted to see Stephen A. Smith and Bob Myers and Kendrick Perkins look up there and look stupid and have a talk about the Bucks, but I'm sure they would have talked about Oklahoma City and how Oklahoma City lost versus how the Bucks won that thing. But again, want to thank everybody for listening to us, watching us, however you did it, whether it was Twitter or YouTube. We really appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. And yes, we appreciate that right here at the Cream City Crossover. Please follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get the likes up in the comments. We appreciate it. That helps us a great bit, a great amount. And of course, if you could tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. Again, keep the love going. What else? Anything else I want to get to? Oh, one thing our sponsors, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of the Cream City Crossover. That's all we got tonight. Man, this has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Groups Across the Third.
Justin.
Chris King.
Don't take no wooden nickels. The Bucks are the Emirates NBA Cup champions. If I am the enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth.